Okay, so writing out a little more explicitly what the partition is, same thing I wrote before, except I did include the xi minus 1 to xi to emphasize the fact that this is your ith interval, right? I can't really read my subscript here. It says also the sample point xi star is in the interval xi minus 1 to xi. Okay? Be in the habit of writing that out. And then our y interval is going to go as before. Y interval for the ith sample point is going to be okay? This is just for the ith sample point. And I'm going to write this as yi0, not theta. yi0, okay? Because I had the 0 first before because I'd left out the I, and then I slapped the I on where it was convenient, and that was really dumb. Okay? And again, I didn't leave myself enough room. But it's just the same thing as this. Positive, right? Now I've got all my subscripts in here where they make sense. Should have been more careful when I did it the first time. Okay?
So there's a yij?
Yeah. For every I, you have a y interval, right? Okay, well, if this is x sub I star, okay, then how are you going to distinguish the partition that goes from here to here from the partition that goes from here to here? You're going to have an I subscript on everything, because the number of intervals in your partition is not just m, because they don't all have the same number. They could, but they generally won't, okay? Have the same number of subintervals, okay? So m sub I is going to be the number of intervals, subintervals, in the partition of y that corresponds to a given x sub I, okay? Or to a given value of I. So the first subscript is going to be I on all these, okay? And then the second index is the one that changes. It goes from 0 to m sub I. Analogous to the fact that this one went from 0 to m, okay? We didn't need an m sub I on here because the theta limits didn't depend on the r.
Wouldn't it go to m sub j?
No. J goes from 0 to m sub I. Here, J goes from 1 to m, right? J went from 1 to m. When we write out the expression here in a minute, you'll see why that's necessary, okay? So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back to the question. We need to sort that out, okay? I mean, the reasons are, as I just said, but I think it'll become clear if we just go ahead now and write out everything else and write out the integral, and you see how it all works.